Here we're taking a look at the importance of body defense and not relying on stick checks to try and stop an offensive player. One common mistake for youth and newer and beginner lacrosse players is they think defense is played with the stick, and when an offensive player approaches them, drives, try and get past them, they try and stop the offensive player with their stick and with stick checks, and we're simply not strong enough. We don't have enough leverage to stop somebody from running past us with a stick or a stick check. You have to use body defense. So we're going to take a look at a really good example here of body defense and break down a few of the things that this particular defender does. So the ball is heading towards X here, and this is the matchup that we're going to take a look at. This short stick defender versus the attackman in white. Now the first thing you'll notice, the defensive player actually gets out of position here because he reaches for this pass. He thinks he has a chance to tip or intercept that pass, so he lunges, reaches for it. He doesn't get it, and now he ends up in a little bit of bad defensive position because of that lunge, that reach. If you take a look right here, you'll see that the offensive player gets a step on the defender right here. That attackman is getting pretty excited because he just got a step on his defender, but the defender does a good job of recovering. And the way he recovers is he takes an appropriate angle. Okay, what a lot of youth defenders and younger players will do is they will end up chasing. Right, so they'll end up behind the attackman, chasing him, where there's no way they can stop him. There's no way they can really play defense. Their only hope is that the attackman kind of hangs their stick on a shot and they get a chance for a trail check. But what this defender does is he does a great job of taking an angle. Instead of following that attackman, chasing that attackman, he takes an angle going to where he knows that attackman is going to end up. So we'll progress forward here and just kind of watch the angle, all right? The defensive player in red isn't trying to make contact right here. He isn't trying to push and shove the offensive attackman. He's taking an angle. He's calculating, where can I meet this player? So you see him change his angle right there. Instead of going right at the attackman, he's running with them, playing his angle, and eventually, right at the most important moment, as we get to the goal line extended, the defender recovers and gets to the top side. So now this defender is thinking, what does this attackman want to do? I want to take away his number one objective. I want to take away what that attackman wants to do and force him to do something that is his secondary move or something that he doesn't want to do. So the defender here knows that the attackman is going to try and get to the top side. He's going to try and get up here and turn back towards the goal and take a shot with his strong hand. The defender knows that, so he takes that away. You see the defender in red sliding up the attackman's hip, getting to that top side and taking away the top side that attackman wants to get. Now take a look at the defensive form of the defender. Take a look at his leg angle. He is getting low, all right? He's staying down on the offensive player's hip, so he has some leverage, and he is pushing aggressively but balanced and under control, so he doesn't end up lunging right past the attackman. He's holding his ground, but he is pushing the attackman away, not letting him get to the goal, takes away the top side, and the attackman does pretty much what is expected here. He rolls away from the pressure and starts heading back towards X, which is what we want, okay? Here's another situation where a lot of younger defenders make a mistake. They'll begin chasing again. They think they've done a good job of turning that attackman away, so they'll take a bad angle. They'll chase behind this attackman and maybe even throw a trail check, trying to get the attackman's stick right there. But what that does is opens up the underneath angle for that attackman to get back in front of the goal on that roll and get a good shot. So this defender does a great job of not chasing that attackman, not chasing that attackman's stick and going for that kind of over the head check, but he takes another good angle, gets back in front of the attackman, gets on his hip, and just guides him back towards X. This is where we want an attackman. We want him to be behind the goal. All right, so right here, if you go for that stick check, you can see that attackman hanging his stick a little bit. If you go for that check, you're opening up a lane for that attackman to get to the goal. But by just playing body defense and not relying on stick checks, we're able to drive this attackman back behind the goal where he's not a threat, and he ends up just passing the ball off. And in conclusion here, the most important thing I want you to notice is how this defender Played a great series of defense without throwing a single stick check. We'll watch it here at regular speed. Bodies up, turns him back, takes an angle, pushes him down low, gets him to pass the ball away. Great defensive play without the use of stick checks. So just be a little more conservative with your stick checks as a youth player. Understand that your stick isn't going to stop anyone. Your body is going to stop somebody. And understand the risk-reward calculus of a stick check. When you throw a stick check, you're taking a split-second risk. You're getting out of defensive position. You're changing your weight. You're changing your balance. You may be lunging a little bit to get that stick check. And that puts you at a split-second disadvantage where the opposing player could make a dodge and get past you. Maybe that risk is worth it if the stick check ends up working and you take the ball away. But if it doesn't work and that player gets past you because you took yourself out of defensive position to throw that check, then it wasn't really worth it. So be conservative and smart when you use your stick checks and focus primarily on body defense.